Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags, and welcome back to a brand new Let's Build. We're starting a new one today, right now. Guys, today I want to build a Tudor style house. As you guys know, I actually really like Tudor style houses. It's one of my favorite architectural styles, so I'm in the mood to build a new one today. So that is going to be the theme for our new Let's Build. I was kind of down between this and a modern house, and I think we can do a modern house after. But I think I'm going to do the Tudor style house first. So let's start this brand new Let's Build, guys. We're going to build it here on Xbox One again, kind of on this little Let's Build world that I have developing here. Obviously, we just finished up this house a few weeks ago, or well, how long has that been? Yeah, like a week or two ago. This house right here is the green traditional house. I built this in the city texture pack. It's actually completely catered to city, but it looks really good in default, so it's kind of good. I'm glad that it turned out like that. It's kind of universal when it comes to the packs. The only real difference here is the light gray wool, as you can see. That's like the main difference between the city texture pack and pretty much any other pack. That's probably the #1 thing. But this build over here was built 100% in default, so it fits this one a lot better. So let's just get started, guys. We're gonna build a new Tudor style house. I'm gonna try to build it, pretty similar to the Tudor style houses that I built in the past, but for the most part, it'll be it'll be a brand new build. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I love this type of architectural style. So let's get started. I'm going to build it right across the street from the greenhouse. I already set some blocks away from the border, so we're about 50 blocks away from the edge of the road. So I have 4 blocks of bricks right here, which is going to be one of the base blocks we're going to be using. I'm also going to be grabbing some dark oak wood logs. I'm actually going to be using white concrete for this build, which is, again, relatively new block. Really nice looking block. It's going to be a better option than snow. What else are we going to be using? We're going to be using some black stained glass. We're going to need some slabs. We're going to need some stairs, those things. And I think that's good for just like the start base materials. All right, so we have these 4 blocks here. I'm going to go ahead and put down 5 blocks of slabs and then 4 more blocks of bricks. So we're gonna actually make a 5x4 wall of bricks. We're actually gonna do 2 of these, and we're gonna start off with the front of the build, see how much we can get done today. We'll do floor plan after that, of course. Try to just make a small little Tudor style house. It's not going to be nearly as large as those builds, so don't expect like a 10-part Let's Build. This will probably be like a 5 or 6-part Let's Build. Not too crazy, because again, like I said, I do want to do a modern house Let's Build as well pretty soon. I'm kind of in the Let's Build mood right now. Last Let's Build you guys really seemed to enjoy. It did really well, so I figured that we would do another one and do another style of build. So right there we have our little opening. 3 blocks right here. So what I'm gonna do, take up some extra bricks along this side. So compared to the Tudor style houses that I've done in the past, it's been a couple years since I've built one. So this one's gonna be a little bit more advanced in terms of how I'm gonna be furnishing things and double stacking the walls, as well as just like new ways of doing things. And I'll be using the terracotta blocks as well, of course, on the interior and stuff like that. So we'll kind of see how that all develops over time, but we're just going to kind of get started with something like this. I'm just going to get some materials for a Danville's anvil. It can never hurt to add one of those in the first 5 minutes of the Let's Build. I guess we'll just put them right here on these corners, and not anvils. We can actually add the bushes to them. There we go. All right, so we got this to start, looking pretty good. I'm going to grab some dark oak. No, actually, let's go with some regular fences for this. Regular spruce fences. I'm tempted to do like some trap doors as well as some end rods for this. I was thinking about doing some sort of like design with the trap doors and the end rods. Do something like this, kind of like this little light on the wall, little front lanterns, something like that. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where like doing like fine detailing on the very beginning of the build is a little weird, because there's nothing else there to base it off of. All right, next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to run a lining of stairs across. Again, I'm pretty experienced building Tudor style houses in general, so hopefully I'll be able to build a little bit more efficiently this time around, as opposed to other builds. So that's kind of like my hope for this. But anyway, we're gonna do the front wall today. We're gonna try to get at least the front entrance built. we'll see, you know, how long we'll go from there. But of course, this is the pilot episode, first episode, so we're just kind of just getting our feet wet today. All right, so I'm gonna actually take some concrete and just kind of fill this in where I guess the ceiling of the front porch here, front entrance. I'm gonna grab some sea lanterns, one of my favorite blocks in the default texture pack, or really in any texture pack. Sea lanterns are just a great alternative to glowstone. And you can just put one in the ceiling like that, and boom. Nice little design. I might even actually add a glass block underneath of it, because why not? Alright, that looks pretty good so far. So next thing I want to do is actually just start adding some white concrete. We're just going to start to fill this in. I'll probably do like 2 blocks of white concrete, tall right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start adding in some lines of dark oak wood as well. You guys know how Tudor style houses work if you've ever seen one before. If you haven't, you know, I'd recommend just kind of Googling what they look like. They kind of have, it's a very unique style because they're very white. They have like a white base and almost like stripes of wood that kind of run through the design. And that's kind of like the philosophy of the style. And I just love it personally. It's one of my favorite styles of builds. It's up there for sure. And I enjoy building them. They do convert to Minecraft fairly well, so it definitely makes for a fun build. But we're gonna start off with something like that. Looks pretty good. I think I'm probably going to actually do another lining of wood here. Again, you don't want to go too overboard with it, just because, you know, it's hard to make Tudor-style houses. Typically, in real life, the wooden lines, I guess, are much more thin as opposed to the proportions of Minecraft with logs. So you have to be a little bit careful with that you don't overdo it. So I'll try to avoid that during this Let's Build. All right, so next thing we got to do is get a window developing here. So I would like to have at least 5 block tall ceilings. I think that's typically my agenda for this. So we got one. This is going to be the base floor of the house. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want I guess the ceiling of the first floor to be running across right through here. And I love these white concrete blocks. It's a really nice alternative to snow, and I don't have to use any wool blocks again, because wool blocks, I'm not my biggest fan of wool blocks in the default, I should say. All right, I'll probably just run some bricks across that just to kind of get an idea. So this is 5 blocks tall right there. That's going to be double stacked, of course. So, you know, in the future here, let's just put like a brown concrete block as the placeholder here. So this will be the double stack for the interior, of course. And, you know, just like the last Let's Build we did, we're going to have, you know, the opportunity to use these concrete blocks, and I think they just improve builds so significantly in all ways. So there's kind of just your idea of how that's going to look. Next thing I'm going to do, probably grab I'll probably use spruce wood for the interior, because I am a fan of spruce wood. I think it's a little bit lighter. It does fit, I think, for floors. Kind of makes it look a little bit washed out, a little bit worn compared to the dark oak wood, which again has its use. So we'll do that kind of as our placeholder floor. It'll probably end up being swapped out for like carpets or something like that, but we're not worried about that on episode 1. So now we have like basically the idea of where I'm going to be adding this window. So I'm probably just going to do like a 3x3 window there. Or actually that's 3x4. That's fine. 3x4 window going straight through. And then I'll probably end up just continuing this up and running this straight through here. Probably end up crossing my T's and dotting my I's right there. That old saying. So that looks pretty good so far. We gotta try to add a little bit more to this window. A couple of thoughts that just kind of jumped to my head on this front. I'm thinking about doing, let me actually grab some full blocks of dark oak wood for this. I'm thinking about doing, I kind of want to do like an indented window. So how am I going to do this exactly? Maybe like run this across right here like that. Gonna place some slabs right there just to kind of frame this, and then I'll probably run this up 4 blocks of extra wood. And then under here, let's put some slabs and we'll put a stair like that. So we'll do something like that. Looks pretty good, I would say. I'll probably end up just doing the same thing on the top. Now I'm wondering if I should use a different color for this, maybe instead of using the dark oak wood, possibly like some stone. I don't know. I don't think stone will look good in this particular instance, so we'll avoid that. So again, this is 4 blocks tall, so I'm going to do slabs right there. We'll run some slabs across the top like this. And then I'll probably end up just doing some stairs curving like this. We'll run these across. Curve again right there. Place some full blocks behind that. And we'll place some stairs or some slabs there. Well, that's actually going to get filled in with some white concrete blocks. So we have to take that across. So we'll do slabs here, and we'll do a stair. And let's take a step back and look at that. I think that's going to look pretty good. Nice indented window in the front of the build. Definitely separates it from some of the Tudor style houses I've done in the past, which is definitely something that I want to do. Don't want to build the same thing twice. So we'll run this up. And you guys know the Tudor style house in Los Angeles. That's one of my favorite houses on that world. So that's obviously been a fan favorite for a while. Building something pretty similar to that with this build. Alright, so we got that kind of filled in there. I like that window. That's looking pretty good. So let's see. I'm going to run some wood across here to kind of connect these logs. On this little intersection there, I'm going to put a indented stair. I think that will look pretty nice. It'll also add some depth to the build. Some much needed depth to the build. So something like that. There we go as our front wall. That's looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm liking this so far. This has got some good potential to it. So next thing we want to do, I'm going to place some slabs there. Actually, scratch that. Let's lower this by 1 block. We're going to do 3 slabs across right here, starting with the stair. And then I'll put one on the corner as well. So we'll keep the corner open. And what I want to do is start to build this roof. So we're going to do the roof today, at least get it started. And I want to do a roof similar to what we had over here. I really liked this. This is kind of the first time I did it. It's kind of like a double stacked roof almost. And I think it's a really quality design. So I would like to try to emulate that on this build if I can. So let's do it. I'm going to run this across right here. And this will go out 1 block past that. And then we'll start to fill this up and connect it to the top. We'll see how this looks. We'll take a step back and look at it all. I was contemplating building this on PC, but I still want to do Xbox stuff because I do enjoy building on Xbox. You know, just using the controller and stuff like that. It's a good break from doing LD on PC. And I still love Xbox Minecraft. We're going to be having the crossplay pretty soon, so there's going to be a lot of new features on here. So I don't want to totally abandon my Xbox roots, obviously, and I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. Because I still love building on console. That's for sure. Alright, so we have a connection right here. I swear, I always do a little spiel while I'm building these roofs. It's like a little placeholder spiel. Alright, so I'm going to start by doing this double stack here. So I'm going to place full blocks on the edges of the upside down stairs on the first layer of stairs. And then I come back in and place a second set of upside down stairs on those full blocks that I just placed. And it all starts to kind of connect and create a double stacked roof. I think that's going to be what I'm going to call this, a double stacked roof. Alright, so we fill that up right there. Let's just get the whole rest of this thing filled in with white concrete, and we can add detail after that. Just get the whole thing filled in. We'll take a step back and look at it. So there it is so far. This is looking good. So far, so good. I like it. Alright, so what I'm going to do actually for this kind of blank white space, so I'm actually just going to run another log straight through there. Probably just for continuity purposes, we'll connect that on the other side, even though it's going to be invisible at a later point. I'll probably end up putting a block sticking out right there. And then I was thinking up here that I probably want to do like an upside down stair. Something simple like that. Maybe even an extra slab there to, I don't know, just add a little bit to it. What do you guys think about that? I think that looks pretty good. That's our front wall for this build. Not too bad. 15 minutes. Boom. Just like that. We got ourselves a front wall. I like it. Alright, so that's a good start. What do we want to work on now? I'm thinking about taking this down a little bit. Let's see. Let's go 5 blocks in. I always like the odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll run this across right here. This is going to be our first wall. I didn't expect to get this far here in the first episode, so this is good. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. I always kind of try to plan out what I'm going to be building each episode in terms of like how much I want to get done. And I was hoping for the pilot episode that I would just get the front wall done, but we still got some time. So let's spend a few more minutes. let's go ahead and build ourselves an extra wall here. So I'm going to run this down at a certain point. I don't know how far this is going to go. Probably like not that far. Probably to here we can stop it. I don't know the exact amount of numbers right now in terms of how far I'm going to take this, but it has no meaning at this point. So I'm just going to quickly get that filled in. All right, guys, I just filled in that brick wall real quick just to speed things up a little bit. Again, it doesn't matter how long it's going to be just yet if you're following along. We'll determine the official like length for this later, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sideways log of some dark oak wood across there, kind of frame that shape. So you figure this log's coming down, it kind of goes through this upside down stair and then runs back that way. That's kind of my thought process behind that. Probably end up taking this down as well. I don't know for sure on that one though. So let's see, for this I'm probably just gonna fill this in with some of this concrete for now, and again I'll kind of continue the patterns from the front for the most part. Again, it's gonna be mainly concrete though. The white concrete looks great, so we're gonna use it. And I'll probably end up continuing these slabs across here as well. So that'll kind of be our side wall. Again, that wall doesn't matter a ton just because there's not going to be any windows on it. Again, it's kind of on the side of the house. I'll probably end up putting some leaves, kind of like, you know, representing some moss on the side of this build, since, you know, that's kind of a thing on traditional houses, or even Tudor style houses, I guess. So I'm probably going to run actually, I'm trying to decide how far down I want to run this, because that's definitely going to be important. I'm thinking either 2 blocks or just 1. I don't know yet, but I wanted to run a lining of upside down stairs across here, and we'll continue this dark oak wood down a little bit. So that's actually going to be 1 block out indented from the build and 1 block above that lining of upside down stairs. So it's not quite the same. And then I'm going to do some more of the concrete. We'll run this down again. Doesn't matter how far just yet. We'll figure that out later though. And I'm probably just going to take that up to, you know, about right below the roof of the front of the house. I don't plan on having all the roofs line up and everything like that, so I guess like the lining of that part of the roof isn't going to matter on this part of the build. But let's just get the whole thing filled in real quick with some of this, some of these really nice looking white blocks. Very clean looking. I like them. All right, so we got that. So for this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a lining of upside down slabs going across. And then I'm going to start doing a lining of stairs going across. So we'll kind of do the upside down slabs and then the stairs. And that is going to be like the beginning of the roof on that side of the build. So again, not quite lined up with the top of that build, but still a little bit different. And as far as these blocks being the same color, we can probably do something about that. What I'll probably end up doing though is just doing a lining of logs running across it. That typically does a pretty good job of, I guess, just adding to that part of the build. Yeah, definitely looks a lot better like that. All right, so that's pretty good. So now what we want to do is try to find a spot for a window on this part of the build. So we don't want to just line up with the middle of that just because it, you know, again, like I said, I didn't even choose how far this was going to go. So I'm going to try to line it up from this wall. So if I want a window going across up here, I probably want it to start maybe about 5 blocks away from the wall, since we have 5 blocks here. So I guess we'll turn it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's put a block right there as kind of a placeholder. And I guess actually we don't even need to do this as a placeholder. We can kind of just start. So let's just say that this block right here, and these blocks next to it, this is going to be the first window, the second floor on this side of the build. Something like that. So hopefully I did this right and lined it up. The first window runs across right here. So that is going to be on this block. All right. So I can probably just put some stairs underneath it there to kind of make sure that those are lined up, because obviously I want all the windows to connect on this build. And I don't plan on making all the windows, what is this one? 4 by 3. I might honestly make that one 3 by 2. Make it a little bit smaller. I'm not really a big fan of 3 by 3 windows. I never have been. So I'll probably end up making that a little bit shorter. Make this a 3 by 2. I think it looks better when it's a rectangle where the height is greater than the width. That's just a personal preference. So there we go. That looks pretty good. It's kind of far away from the wall, so I might move it in a little bit. But again, we're so early in this build, so there's time for me to tweak things a little bit. But that's pretty nice looking. As far as like the Tudor designs that run across here, I was thinking about going like super bold with it and doing something crazy, like, you know, kind of how we have the logs running across in, like, you know, whatever motion you want to say it is. What if we do some diagonals with stairs? Like this is bold right here. What if we did some diagonals instead of doing, so like that would be the equivalent to one of these logs, except it's, you know, diagonal using stairs. It's definitely bold. I don't know if I like it, but again, we're on episode 1, so it's all good. You know, that house, we had no clue what they were going to look like on episode 1. So let's continue it on this side as well. We'll give it a chance, though. We're not just going to write it off. Try it on both sides. And then I'll probably wrap up this episode and let you guys give me some opinions on it, I guess, of what you guys think about the build so far. So something like that, right? And I honestly think that looks pretty good. It's definitely a little different than, you know, your typical build, typical Tudor style house, but it's got some things to it that I like. As far as down here is concerned, by the way, I'm probably going to actually have another indented window. This one's probably going to be a little bit wider down here, just because on first floors typically you have, like, you know, open spaces, open rooms. So let's just say, for theory's example, that there's going to be a window right here, and we'll indent it 1 block inside the house. This is going to be a 4x3 window. And of course, if we continue this across right here, that's going to line up quite nicely with the floor plan. So that's good. Let's take a step and just see what we've built. So again, that's going to be a window right below that. Probably have it lined up. I don't know if I'm going to make it the same width, because obviously the top window is only 2 blocks wide, where the bottom is 4, so that's definitely a big difference. Again, it's a progress. It's a process, guys. Trust the process, like the Philadelphia 76ers. Trust the process. But that's where I'm going to leave you guys after episode 1. Thank you guys for watching. First episode of a new Let's Build, a new building experience. We're starting it up. I like this so far. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely needs some work, though. Obviously, it's by no means a success thus far. We still need to kind of modify this design and get it to where I want it, to where I can feel pretty happy about it. But we have a good start, I think. Definitely have something to work off of. So I'm going to continue with this next episode. So thank you guys for watching. It's been Dangeles. Hopefully you guys did enjoy episode 1 of this new Tudor style house that I'm building. By the way, I plan on building like a big fireplace on this side. We're going to do like one of those big Tudor style fireplaces. I think it could look pretty nice. So this is our episode 1. This is what we got so far. I think it's pretty good looking so far. So we will continue this on episode 2 in a few days. So thank you guys for watching. It's been Dangeles. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.